Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Love of Learning podcast with your host, Dr. Carl S. Moore, Vice President for Teaching and Learning at Howard Community College. And I'm joined by my wonderful colleague, Dr. Young Yu. And this is like a celebratory moment for us because although she's currently serving as, you're the Associate Dean of what division right now?
Acting Associate Dean of Social Sciences.
Social Sciences. She is our newly minted Dean come July 1 of our larger, what division are you the Dean of?
Liberal Studies.
Liberal Studies. So it's really exciting. But we're going to be speaking to you today about, some of the in-classroom elements. But do you want to introduce yourself and say who you are, how long you've been teaching at HCC, and a little bit of information about you that I may not know?
Hello, everyone. My name is Yang Yu. I'm a geographer by training.
I didn't know that part. Okay.
I started teaching at HCC since 2016.
Okay.
I started as an adjunct faculty. And in the same year, I got a full-time faculty position. Mm-hmm. So I teach different geography courses, and I love teaching geography classes, so I developed 2 brand new courses, and I also developed one honors online section and one collaborative online international learning section. We call it as COIL. So I enjoy teaching my geography classes.
Awesome.
So
now where this will be fluid, I want to dig into the COIL piece, and I think I should do it now because I know we're going to go so many places in this conversation. Could you explain a little bit more about COIL for the viewers?
Yeah, COIL is a collaborative international, it provides the international education, but in a more accessible way that we and our partners, we teach via online platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So the international office is doing a great job, and she can help us. The director of international education, she helps us to match with our partners in other countries. I found my partner myself. She was my friend when I did my doctoral study in the UK. So we decided to teach a class together using my world geography class. And eventually we decided to use my cultural geography class to develop that
wonderful
collaboration piece. And so her students, she's from Thailand. Her students join us from Thailand. And we use all kinds of online platforms like Google Classroom, like Zoom, for instance, and Google Slides, and all kinds of online tools for that class. It is very interactive, and it really provides students more knowledge about different cultures around the world. It's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm. So they're learning about this is your world geography class, right? Mm-hmm. So you've partnered with it's a Taiwanese professor from Thailand.
Yeah.
Oh, from Thailand, right?
Yes.
Okay. So from Thailand, and then you developed this course together.
Yes.
And does it still stay as world geography, or is it a different? Did the title change? Did some of the objectives change? Like, how does that part work? Because some people that are watching this, the viewers, may be individuals that didn't know that they could come to HCC and take a course where they're learning with students from around the globe. So just kind of unpack a little bit of that for us.
Yeah, that is the beauty of this COIL part. Actually, we don't have to develop brand new course. We can use the existing course.
Okay.
And so that collaboration piece could be ranging from anywhere between 3 weeks and 5 weeks.
So you just use your existing course.
That's correct.
And components of that other professor in Thailand's existing courses as well?
Yes.
And just merge them together, or how does that work in terms of the student experience?
So she's also a geographer, but actually my understanding is that you don't have to have the same courses together. She can be a sociologist, for instance, right?
Okay.
But the collaborative piece that we use UN Sustainable Development Goals as a framework. So students will come together and think about some goals that they want their countries to achieve, for instance, or they want their local communities to achieve.
Awesome. That's
yes,
awesome.
So it's great. And so our collaborative part usually lasts about 5 weeks because that is the time period that students are able to get to know each other, and also they are able to work together to finish their final project. So I think that length is good. But I mean, other professors might have different lengths.
Yeah.
3 weeks and 4 weeks, and you don't have to have you don't have to use online class for that. You can also use face-to-face class. I know one of my colleagues actually used the face-to-face class, and they had that online components in class. That
awesome.
worked well as well. So it's very flexible.
That's exciting. So would you call yourself a geographer by trade? You're a geographer by trade, and you teach world geography.
Yes.
What are some other courses that you teach here in addition to that may not be COIL in your program?
I teach world geography class, and I teach cultural geography class.
World and cultural. Okay.
I teach honors section.
And honor sections of okay.
Yeah.
So in teaching these courses, what should a student expect coming into your classroom? You know, one of the questions I'm going to ask a little later is like, what do students love about learning in your classroom? But what should they expect? Walk me through kind of what a classroom is like. You and are taking Dr. Yu's class.
A lot of students actually, before they took my class, they thought geography is about location and place names. Geography is about maps. I actually talk about map for half an hour only.
Oh, yeah.
For the
I would
whole
think
semester.
that sometimes. I'm sorry, that's not what this one.
Geography is more than location and place names. It's about it studies the spatial variation. So about like where things are found, why they are there, and how the human impacts on the natural environment. So the interactions between the natural environment and human and society, actually, it learns about the whole systems, about how the economic forces and political forces and democratic forces affect the natural environment. So it offers much more. And also students learn about the physical components and cultural components of places. So students are very interested in this topic once they join this class, and
once they know,
a bit more about.
And that's why this is really good, because now even it may be an HCC students viewing this, or future students, now they know a little bit more, because you don't know what you don't know. And even for me, I've actually taken it was a geography and urban studies, a master's class as a part of my my PhD program, one of those like electives, and I didn't realize. We were talking about like spatial, what do you call it? I forgot what they called it, but it was something like segregation that occurs across like lines. What is boundaries? It was like, it was this book that we read. It was, and actually there's a recent one, geographic apartheid type of thing, right? Where we learned about how zoning, this was zoning in cities actually prevented students literally by how things were mapped out, how it created inequities. So I learned about geography from that. I remember having a geography class and a world geography and a world cultures class in high school, and I knew that geography and culture really went hand in hand. When you just added something new, when you mentioned the systems and an interaction with the environment, so even those who are exposed and think they know, like myself, I'm like, oh, I'm learning new things right now. Yeah. So what would be like an enticing thing? Like, what do students love to learn about? If I'm a student and your best kind of pitch to say, hey, geography, if you're taking a world geography course or any of these variations, you're going to learn about this, and this is how it's going to help you in society. What would that be?
That's right. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I think the part that students learn the most is about how the global forces affect their local communities, actually. For instance, like we talk about climate change, for instance, right? How does climate change affect my local community? How does that affect the local people? So I think the students were most interested in that part, is that how do these global forces affect local populations?
That's the global forces. It's the macro impacting those micro level interactions.
Yes.
And do students do they light up when they learn these things?
That's
or
right.
They're usually not coming and thinking about it that grand, right?
I'm
assuming. Okay.
Yes, and I often challenge students to go one step further. Okay, so you know that how those global forces affect our local communities. What you can do for your local community? What contributions that can you have to help your local communities? So I often challenge students that, and so students need to think about how they can be a citizen that responsible to make a better place of their local community. How to what is their part in terms of helping their own community.
Wow, that's pretty impactful. Me, Carl, and I'm going to admit this, I don't always put like, social responsibility with world geography, but it matches perfectly from what you're saying, because you understand the large piece, and then okay, so what can you do about it? And then they know that they can have an actual global impact through their actions.
Yes.
What a wonderful tie-in. You hear that, folks? You can make a difference. That's pretty beautiful. Have you seen students go from being uninterested to really interested through this process, or what are some things that you've seen in terms of some stories, or you can tell a story if you like, or any examples of that?
That is my favorite part of teaching, really, to make connections with students. And I really enjoy seeing that students make connections between what they are learning and real life. So yes, and the students sometimes came to me and told me that a course that they took with me made a difference. And they told me that they were inspired by my class, and they decided to declare like geography as a major elsewhere, like at a four-year college, for instance.
So dedicate their life to studying. Okay, yeah. Wonderful.
There's one student actually I still keep in touch with. He was my former student. He was very, very interested in geography, and now he is a student at Towson majoring geography.
Oh, wonderful.
That was very rewarding.
So that brings up another question. So I'm a student. I do want to come back to what you love about, teaching it. And I think I kind of get it some of it already. But for due diligence, if I'm a student and I'm taking geography, I come in to take courses. Is there a program that I can actually, an AA in geography here? Or tell us a little bit about that. We know about the courses. What are the programs? Is it a transfer, or is it an AAS? Like people may not know. So you can tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we do not have a geography major here, but we have a social sciences major. And geography is part of social sciences classes. We also have a general studies program that for students who enroll in general studies program, if they're interested in geography classes, if they found geography classes are interesting, they have a passion, and they can always take more geography classes, and they can transfer to four-year colleges. Yes, I actually developed 2 new courses, Geography 103 and 104. The primary goal to develop those courses was to strengthen transfer pathways for students.
That's wonderful. And what did those cover? Because you have world geographies. What's 102 and what's 103?
102 is the cultural geography. It covers all the cultural pieces about the population, about religion, about population, urban geography that you just mentioned is part of that too. Yeah. Geography 103 is about the physical geography. So we learn about the physical part of the earth, about the weather, climate, and rivers and mountains. 104, we call them as baby GIS.
Baby GIS.
Baby GIS is about, they learn about the basic theory in GIS, about GIS, all the information about GIS, but we just don't do the practical part of GIS, and I think the other division offer that.
Baby GIS in undergrad is an amazing thing. I didn't know that existed, as I mentioned, to that grad course. So so social sciences. So if a person comes here, they're interested in geography, or they're interested in social sciences, they can take these geography courses, and then they can transfer. What are some other than geography? What are some other fields that, when you have this foundation, it may transfer or lend itself well to? What would be some other kind of career pathways or kind of areas of study that you think a student could go after having this knowledge? You're like everything, right? I kind of feel it's like what does not apply, right? But yeah,
because these skills are transferable skills. They are highly transferable and applicable. Actually, these skills that students learn from us will be with them for the rest of their life. They learn about how they can work collaboratively with their classmates, and they can learn develop all kinds of skills in terms of global competence, for instance.
Global competence, yeah.
Global competence, and they can develop their technological literacy skills, for instance. It basically can be any job in the government, in teaching, in marketing, because these kind of tools can be applied in any kind of profession.
That's wonderful. So these skills, we'll peel back the onion on these skills. So global competency, of course, geographical, knowing space, place, and things, the systems. Let's kind of run through what other skills?
Technological literacy.
Technological literacy, okay.
Information literacy.
Literacy.
And many more. So these are geography classes. Actually, I developed a part of the general education goal.
Okay.
But beyond that is actually, if they come to join our geography classes, they learn much more than that, like communication skills, collaboration.
Yeah,
skills.
And these are wonderful that you're really making these explicit, because people don't know when they think about geography, or world geography, they may not know that these are the skills they're going to walk away with. Because your typical person is going to think, I'm going to learn about geography, but this is so much. It's so much more that you're saying.
Yeah, and also research skills, because once they look at these different issues about the world, they need to do lots of research about these issues so that they are better, they are informed, so that they can know they choose their decisions, and they know that what they can do to contribute to solve these problems.
That's wonderful. So that those research skills, you can't, especially in this day and age, with information being so readily at one's fingertips, like the skill of how to really be curious and investigate, it's not necessarily promoted by this like fast, this fast kind, especially even with like AI or Google, or it's like, it's giving you the answer, no, but what's the process? So that thinking, thinking that occurs, what are some things that you love teaching? I know that you love teaching the research skills, because I know you. I know you're a researcher. Beyond the research, what are some that you would say as a professor you really love in terms of these courses? I know you also like curriculum and building it, because I know you a little bit. But what are those things that you would say, hey, in the classroom, these are some of my favorite approaches or even subjects to teach?
I enjoy getting to know my students, getting to know their individual talents and strengths. And I enjoy learning from them. I'm very excited that if I learn something new from my students, and I basically learned some new things every single day. That was my favorite part about teaching. And in terms of teaching approaches, I use a lot of active learning strategies in my classrooms. I actually bring this. So this when I taught like face-to-face class.
I love props. I'm a huge fan of props. Bring props if you're on a show. No,
so I call this as a surprise box.
Surprise box. I'm intrigued already. Teach me whatever you.
I got this from Amazon. I got this from Amazon. So as educators, we always learn how to improve our classes. So sometimes during night I couldn't fall asleep. Right, I was thinking about my class. I was thinking about how I can improve my class.
What a dedicated professional you are. You couldn't sleep. You're thinking about you. And I don't doubt that it's the truth, but
Yeah. Wow, so one night I came out with this surprise box idea.
Okay.
So basically, I like engaging my students in the beginning of the class, because that really keeps their energy level high. So I use this surprise box. This surprise box has a lot of like questions. So these are the questions. Most of these questions are about what you've learned from last class or what you've learned from the past. So it is a combination of a review of last class and also helping them make connections with their prior knowledge or the past knowledge. So these are the questions actually, and I ask students to pick one question.
Oh, wow.
And they need to answer. Sometimes, I call it surprise box because you never know, students never know if they are going to answer the question or their peers are going to answer the question. Because sometimes this answer tells them that to ask a person who sits next to you to answer the question. So they never know.
So it's really a surprise box. Multiple levels of surprise there.
Multiple levels. And sometimes they pick up something that says, congratulations, you are just awarded a award.
Oh, so say that again. Congratulations, you are
awarded a world.
Oh, and they get to take that?
Yeah. So I give students. This is a stress ball. I told my students that if you feel stressful in class, squeeze that stress ball.
That's awesome.
To release that stress. So it's a globe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's rewind. So this box, if you may close the box, I'm a student in class. I show up. And this box is where? Where's this box? Is it like on your? Do you pass it around, or how does it work?
I walk around.
You walk around, and then you hand me the box. I'm
I'm
participating right now.
Please pick a question.
Oh, okay. I hope I get the world one. I want that stress ball.
I hope, but I also use this box when I do the workshops for faculty. So I don't. Oh,
cool. So I make. All right. So this one says, "Do you love working from home? or would you rather be in the office? Oh, this is a good question for me.
So actually, I use this for a faculty workshop.
Yeah, for a faculty workshop, and it says there's a balance of both. Okay, so this would be applied to teaching. I mean, not teaching and learning, but the subject world. But this is actually, I don't know if I should answer this question or not.
Okay.
So then they answer the question, and that makes something about like what's the relation of this body of like land mass to this or whatever, and they answer. And then they answer it correctly, they pass it along, or what happens at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And also sometimes when student didn't have any answer, I just ask anyone wanted to help. Anyone wants to help your friends, right? Help your peers. So someone
That's
would
really
raise their
awesome.
hand. Yeah. So I was just trying to create this community that of learning really, and it was fun. Students loved this activity.
They have to, because it's kind of like there's so many layers to it. You don't tell them you got it from Amazon. Just say, hey, this is a box. I got it from like when I was on a trip somewhere. It's made out of like bamboo. That's only No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to lie to our students, but the box becomes a really good like what do you call it, like artifact in class. So when they see it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, no, this is what this is what you're doing. When they see it, it represents something. It's like the curiosity has to start going off because we know about the brain. It's kind of like when we see food, our digestive enzymes already start, right? If we know we're going to eat it. So you're doing some amazing stuff there, and I mean, some of it, but I don't know if you maybe realize the multiple layers of impact that it's having before they even are asked the question. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you. And another strategy that I use in my class is that I create lots of games. So I use gamification to engage my students as well. So I created a lot of games. So the games can be a review quiz, for instance, could be also a stimulation like game to actually talk about the concepts, complex concepts that I teach.
Wow.
So I found those games are very helpful, really, to help my student learn in a fun way.
That's really awesome. So you do games, you bring in like kind of props, and you're always engaging your students in like a different way. And I don't know if I was talking to you about your teaching or if it was someone that I was talking to about your teaching. They were telling me about how engaging you were as a professor, which is really awesome, especially for a subject like geography, where you have people who are interested in those people who aren't, but they have to leave being interested in this subject matter, which is really cool. So what else about your program or about the social sciences program or your class do you think is good for learners to know about that you didn't get a chance to cover yet? What are some other, whether it be features or experiences, even outside of the classroom or, that are connected or available? For example, someone had mentioned before that they go on a trip and it's connected to, I don't know, but there may be other things that you haven't been able to cover for students who are in the social sciences program or studying geography. Any other experiences or events or anything that they should know about?
We are doing all kinds of amazing stuff.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't tell by your face. You're like, oh boy, do I have more. Okay, gotcha. So whatever you want to share.
So COIL is one piece, and some of our faculty members, yes. So some faculty members are doing the study abroad trips, and we also have like honors class and. We have lots of events as well, so we try to bring in lots of speakers from outside of the campus, even that they came to speak with our students about their profession, about their experiences, for instance, and about their interests, and really they were helping our students develop their own interests. So we have a lot of those events like that. Those events are tailored really to maximize students' HCC experience. So beyond what they can learn from classroom.
That's exciting. Yeah, because people, when we think about HCC, people may not realize, I mean, it goes with any college, but I think, and I don't have all of them stored in my brain in terms of like when they are, but I know that social sciences, just HCC and period, we're doing a lot of outside of the classroom activities to really supplement. So it's not the inside of the classroom. It seems like the smaller part. It's like there's so many other, whether even like this club that I found out about the other day. There's so many other items, and I don't want to go off script here, but I just know that you all are doing so much outside of the classroom, which is good for some of the potential students to know, because you're not just teaching And then you leave the class, it like it extends out, you know.
We also house a general studies program in social science.
Talk more about the general studies. What would a new student or a potential student need to know about the social? Not the general studies program.
General studies degree is a broad-based program.
Okay.
Just as its name suggests, general studies does not focus on specific major. Instead, general studies is an overarching program that provides students a breadth of knowledge and covers a variety of skills needed for the success in any given profession.
Oh wow! So if I don't know what I want to do, or even if I do know what I want to do, I can come in and be prepared with this broad associate degree, and then I can go what do I do after that with this?
There are many benefits of taking a general studies program with us. I can tell you the top ones. Okay, so first one is flexibility. So general studies program provides the flexibility of learning, and the students build a curriculum with a combination of all different kinds of classes like science, social science, math, and English, for instance, general electives, and areas of specialization.
So they can make their they can tailor make their program how they want it to be.
That's right.
The courses that they're interested in, just kind of put it together, make your own major in a sense, right?
That is right. This is
wonderful.
The second benefit I was going to
say.
Oh,
you're gonna. I'm sorry, I'm just excited for this.
That is great. That's what you mentioned. You covered.
Number 2.
You covered my number 2 already.
So
it is a personalized education. So students really could actually explore possibilities, their potential interests, and at the same time, they can tailor their interests. Because this general studies program is really for anyone, for everyone, because it really fits everybody's needs. And schools, recent high school graduates, and adult learners who want to go back to school, and adult learners who want to change a profession. And this is because a general studies program offers the maximum number of free electives. We call them as general electives a college can offer. So students are allowed to choose any classes that they are interested in. This is like a personalized, customized.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting when we think about students transferring, it seems like this is if you don't know, even if you do know, it seems to be a really great major to have, or area of study rather, to have, so that you can then go whatever direction you want to go, right? Because more of the courses are going to transfer. Is that kind of what students are interested in it for?
Yes,
okay.
This is for everyone. And the third is the versatility. Basically,
versatility.
It's basically because you ask which kind of jobs the student can choose from after they graduate from us. Again, after they graduate with the general studies program, they can
whatever direction you want to go.
They have so many choices, right? They can find employment opportunities like in leadership positions, like government, non-profit organizations, teaching, marketing, sales, and many more. So This is a versatility of general studies program. And the last one is about students build their coursework from. So this broad coursework can help them develop interdisciplinary skill set. Because all of these different classes really basically force students to look at the problems from different perspectives. They need to draw on their knowledge from multiple perspectives to find out solutions to deal with the challenge at hand. So basically, students could develop a completely interdisciplinary skill set after they graduate.
Wow, and that's the gift that's going to keep giving, right? Having that kind of mindset.
Yes.
That's amazing. So, continue.
This is a very fulfilling degree, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. And, I know about these when I'm asking questions so that they can, but learning those other kind of layers from you in terms of those benefits is just really exciting to hear about that we have that offering. And it's really great that we have you in the program, as one of our, and you're going to actually be assuming leadership over a larger division. And I know that you have those, that experience in the classroom is going to really help with that leadership. And when what would you say to a learner as your final words here in terms of our time together as it relates to this program? If there's anything that you didn't cover, whether it be from the leadership lens, hey, this is what you could expect, or it could be some from a faculty in the classroom lens, because you do work both hats here. What is it that students should know about HCC when they're thinking about learning and why you love learning? What might that be?
Okay, first of all, I want to say we have the best instructors. Yeah, we're
okay.
Right? So
Number one, first and best instructors ever. You heard that here from
and
Dr. Yu.
The general studies program is for students who are eager to learn.
Okay.
And eager to experience a diverse range of disciplines. And so they will have a strong educational foundation for their future after they complete this degree.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's a mic drop right there. Well, Dr. Yu, I really appreciate you coming in and chatting. There's so much more we can probably talk about, now that we're rolling. And I really appreciate you bringing this box in. And we appreciate you all. Hopefully one of you will be in a classroom opening up this box. What is it? The mystery box?
Surprise box.
The surprise box to your future. This has been Dr. Carl S. Moore on the Level Learning podcast. And thank you again, Dr. Yu. And we look forward to seeing you next time.